for the roll call.
Malinowski.
Malinowski, you here?
I'm here.
Pugh.
Here. Mr. Price was bothering me.
I did. Livingston.
Here.
Horatio.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Overture Walker.
Here.
Mackey.
Here.
English.
Present.
Newton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Next item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda. Change the motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moving properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Ms. Ong, can you call the roll for the motion for the adoption of the agenda?
Malinowski.
No.
Pugh.
Yes.
McBride.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Horatio.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Overture Walker.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
English.
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. That brings us to presentation of proclamations. The first one is.
Mr. Chair. I apologize. I got in the spirit of agreement, and I did have a question about the agenda. I don't know if we need to reconsider it, but if, with your permission, I'd like to ask a question of Ms. McLean.
You asked the question, we may need to reconsider to do anything with it, though.
Correct. Ms. McLean, item 10A is a report out from the Evaluation and Oversight Committee where today we discussed a contractual matter, and I didn't know if that item needed to be listed under a report for executive session.
Yes, ma'am. If you want to discuss that in executive session, just add that to my report.
In that case, Mr. Chair, I move to reconsider the agenda to include item 10A on the report for executive session.
Now, if it's an executive session item, when we get, the attorney can just simply put it on her report.
Works for me.
Yeah. Okay, that brings us to the presentation of proclamations. First one is a proclamation recognizing August 1 through 7, August 1, 7, 2021 as National Farmers Market Week. Mrs. Ong, here's that proclamation. Ms. Mackey.
I do. All right. A proclamation recognizing August 1st through 7th, 2021 as National Farmers Market Week. Farmers markets date back to Egypt over 5,000 years ago, and the first known farmers market in the U.S. was in Boston in 1634. Farmers markets were once the center of a community, and as the world became more industrialized, the farmers markets in the U.S. declined and grocery stores gained popularity. In 1970s, Americans became more health conscious and farmers markets started to rise again in popularity. As the popular trend, farm to table, recently helped highlight the possibilities and varieties that farmers markets have to offer, farmers markets help preserve rural livelihoods and farmlands, stimulate the local economy, address food deserts, and increase access to fresh foods. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, Richland County Council, Jessica Mackey, District 9, and Allison Horatio, District 5, recognize August 1st through 7th, 2021 as National Farmers Market Week. Mr. Chair, if I may go down in front and recognize one of our constituents, we have April Jones here with the Pinehurst Farmers Market. Thank you.
And Ms. Jones, on behalf of Richland County Council, we want to thank you for what you do with the Pinehurst Market that you work with and how many folks you affect throughout that community. We really appreciate it, and throughout the county.
I appreciate all of you guys and your support. It's so important to have elected officials to support the state with a lot of farmers and beautiful land. So I appreciate you guys and your leadership in our county.
Glad you recognize.
I just want to also add that, thank you for coming and thank you.
Yes, we love being in the Pinehurst neighborhood. It's really kind of amazing. And the best part is it's very close to the central seat of power. It's 2 minutes from here. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to encourage all council members to please support local farmers markets in your area during August 1st through 7th. I'm sure we all have several in our districts. Thank you.
Bring us to item 3B on our calendar agenda, and that is a proclamation recognizing Mr. Stonewall M. Richburg for his 100th birthday. Ms. Mackey.
Mr. Chair, thank you. This proclamation recognizes Stonewall M. Richburg's 100th birthday. His actual birthday takes place on Saturday, August 14th. Since the council is not meeting in August, wanted to read this proclamation today in the record for him. Stonewall McKinney Richburg was born in Tuskegee, Alabama in 1921. He started his education by earning his high school diploma in architectural drawing before getting a Bachelor of Science degree in industrial education from the Tuskegee Institute in 1942. He would further his education with a Master's of Education from Purdue University and complete additional advanced degree studies at Tuskegee University and the University of South Carolina. Mr. Richburg also became a member of the Divine Nine, becoming a distinguished member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. In 1943, Mr. Richburg enlisted and was stationed at the Army Air Base in Columbia, South Carolina. He would serve in both World War II and the Korean conflict. Upon the completion of his active duty, Captain Richburg would serve 10 years in the Army Reserves. Mr. Stoney Richburg would marry the love of his life, Miss Geneva Smith. This union has produced 4 children, 8 grandchildren, 11 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. Mr. Richburg started his career with Richland School District 1. While attending church with his future wife, Mr. Richburg met Mr. C.A. Johnson, the supervisor of the Negro schools in Richland County. Mr. Johnson would offer Mr. Richburg a job at the historic Booker T. Washington. Over his 37 years with the district, Mr. Richburg served in many positions, including, but not limited to, principal, administrative assistant to the superintendent, executive director of pupil personnel service, and director of pupil account. Mr. Richburg was inducted into the Richland County School District 1's Hall of Fame in 2011. USC College of Education featured Mr. Richburg in their exhibit named So Their Voice Will Never Be Forgotten, and invited by Mr. Richburg to a discussion about the student struggle for civil rights and the desegregation and integration of schools in Columbia. Mr. Richburg would prove to have a servant's heart, as he would later join multiple advisory boards, commissions, and foundations. His constant work led to the countless awards, and he became an intricate part of Columbia's history. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that Councilwoman Jessica Mackey recognize Mr. Richburg Stonewall McKinney for his life's work and dedication to Richland County. Mr. Richburg has reached and touched so many people in his life and is living proof that one person can make a difference. And I also like to acknowledge Richland County Council Chair, Mr. Paul Livingston, who's also signed on to this proclamation. Mr. Livingston, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I think I must. When Jessica called me about the proclamation, and I didn't realize at first she was talking about Stonewall Richburg. It's kind of interesting because he has such a tremendous influence on my life. As a matter of fact, when I was in first grade at Saxon Elementary School that was on Blossom Street, Mr. Richburg was my principal. When I moved to Fairwell High School later on, somehow he ended up there. He was my principal. And then I moved from there to Booker T. Washington High School. Somehow it happened. He was there, my principal. So he just had so much influence on my life, and I was just so thrilled and did not realize it was his 100th birthday. So it was just exciting for me. And I go, Jessica, that's great. You got to put my name on there. But I just want to just say that because he's truly a special person. Ms. McBride.
Mr. Richburd and his family are lifelong friends of my family. And so he has done so much in the community. And Mr. Livingston, he was living in your community.
He was on Germany Street.
So he's a lifelong friend of the family, and he's done some awesome things for this entire county. So I thank you, Ms. Mackey, for bringing that forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be sure to extend the 100th celebration to all of you, the invitation, so you can attend. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes item 3, presentation proclamation. That brings item 4 on your agenda, report of the acting county attorney for executive session items. Excuse me, Ms. McLean.
Thank you, sir. We have 3 items for executive session tonight. We got item 4A, road maintenance fee ordinance lawsuit, legal advice and update. We also have 4B, Richland County versus Richland Program Development Team. That's a potential settlement agreement approval. And item 10A, which is the county administrator evaluation review and approval of consultant. That's a contractual matter. These are all appropriate for executive session if you so wish under South Carolina Code of Laws 30-4-70A2. That completes my report. There are no outside counsel involved in tonight's executive sessions.
That brings us to the report of the county administrator. Mr. Brown, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, I have no report this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown, for that great report. I move to item 6 on our agenda. That is the report of the interim clerk of council.
The clerk's office doesn't have a report either.
Thank you very much. That brings item 7, the report of the chair. I'm not going to let them outdo me. I do not have a report. Brings to item 8, report of the Administration Finance Committee. He'll make up for the rest of us. Mr. Malinowski, you're recognized.
I just defer everything. Item number 8A, the Treasurer's Office Federal Forestry Funds. The committee did defer that one in committee to obtain additional information regarding the roads and schools and them getting these funds. If you want, I can do them in groups as a committee approve them. If there's no comment or objection, items 8B, C, D, E, F, and G were all recommended unanimously by the committee to approve staff's recommendations.
Staff recommendation for items A through G.
B through G.
B through G, thank you. Motion for approval, discussion. There being none, I'll ask Ms. Oler to call the roll for items 8B through G.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
second
sorry, someone pull something?
I'll second that.
It was second.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Ms.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do any of these need to be, Mr. Brown, reconsidered since we'll be gone?
I'll do that right now, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Make a
Malinowski.
motion to reconsider items 8B through G.
Second.
Moving proper second for reconsideration, item 8A, or 8B through G. It's been properly second. Ms. Owen, can you call the roll for the motion for reconsideration for those items?
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio,
No.
Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
No.
Motion fails.
Item number 8H, Alvarez Glen Detention Center electronic monitoring. The committee voted in favor to approve the recommendation of staff. The reason it was in favor only and not unanimous, there was some concern by a couple members as to whether or not that company actually is providing proper service for the clients, which are the monitored people. But the committee recommended in favor.
Heard the committee, heard the committee's
For approval.
recommendation, discussion. There being none, Ms. Only, can you call the roll for the committee's recommendation for approval for item 8H?
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton. Motion passes.
Items number 8I and J, the committee unanimously recommended approving the staff's recommendation on both.
You heard the committee's recommendation for items I and J. Any discussion? There being none, I'll ask Ms. Owner to call the roll for the committee's recommendation for items I and J.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, I move for reconsideration on items 8I and J.
Second?
Up second reconsideration of item H, I, and J.
You said H-I-N-J?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is
No, I and J. 8I and J.
there a reason we're not doing H?
Anybody else can do it if they want.
So the motion now is for I and J. So, Ms. Owens, can you call the roll for the motion for I and J for reconsideration?
Yes, sir. Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio,
No?
Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
No.
Motion fails.
Entertain a motion for item H if there's to be one.
Mr. Chair, I would move to reconsider that.
Been moving proper second for reconsideration of item 8H. Ms. Owens, can you call the roll for the motion for reconsideration of item 8H?
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio,
No?
Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
No.
Motion fails.
That concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Actually, that brings us to item 9 on your agenda, which is the report of the Detention Center Ad Hoc Committee. That's Honorable Alvin Teratio. You recognize?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for this one, we just had one item. The compensation recommendation from administration. We were presented with a pay plan for the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center. That was provided previous to this meeting under separate cover. And we did move to approve that, and I believe that it was unanimous.
The committee's recommendation for approval unanimously. Discussion. Ms. Malice, you recognize.
Hey, Mr. Chair, this particular item really flies in controversy in the face of transparency. Granted, council members saw this under separate cover information. The public has no information what we are approving. That particular meeting, I believe that information was held during executive session. So the public has no information as to what we're doing, what we're planning on doing here, how their tax money is being spent. And I think that really is a negative on this council to not be more transparent in providing that information. I would make a substitute motion that we defer this to our August 31st meeting, have all that information included in the agenda, and bear in mind, you can always make the pay raise retroactive to whatever day you want. I support the pay raise. I just also support transparency in this. So my substitute motion is defer till August 31st, and then you can make your pay raise retroactive to whatever date you want.
This is only just. Ms. Only, did this information get to the public
No, sir, it was not included in the agenda packet.
I recognize.
I was just saying that it was approved in council, and we did go into executive session, but we did come out and discuss it.
This piece of paper was part of the public package, so if you were to look online, sorry, I may be speaking out of turn, may I be recognized?
You recognize, go ahead.
Okay, this was part of the public packet that was published, that's a lot of Ps, published with this ad hoc committee hearing agenda. So it was not information presented privately in executive session, it was public.
And for clarification, Mr. Chair, that may be right that it was presented during, under an ad hoc committee agenda. The fact of the matter is, people that look at Richland County Council agendas look at this right here that's in front of us. They don't necessarily look and get ad hoc committee agendas. I still say if it's important enough to put it out once in a committee agenda, it's even more important to put it out in this particular full council agenda. I actually don't think it's proper before us, and that it should just, you should take it off of the agenda, Mr. Chair.
Any further questions? Question. You recognize.
I believe Mr. Brown wanted to be recognized.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Mr. Chair.
You recognize.
Just briefly, in the committee, I was actually going over the plan. There was a concern whether or not I could actually go over all that salary information in a public forum. That was my full intent. I was walking down that process. So I have no issue with the information being in the public and being transparent. That's what I was actually doing. And there was a concern that was brought forth is, could we actually do that? Would that be an issue? So whatever you decide to do, just know that that's exactly what I was doing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further discussion.
Mr. Chair, in the spirit of transparency, I totally agree with it. I also totally agree with individuals getting the pay that they deserve. We are so far behind, and I know that, yep, we want to get this information out to everyone, but we also want to make sure that we take care of those who work for Richland County. And that's the bottom line here. And I'm going to keep saying it. We need to be transparent, yes, Mr. Malinowski, but we need to stop kicking cans down the street every meeting. They don't hesitate to come to work every day. So, let's stop talking about it, and we'll get the public their information. Yes, let's do that. But let's also take care of our employees. Thank you.
Clarification, I did not try and kick the can down the street. I said you can make the pay raise retroactive to whatever day you want, which means they get it today, yesterday, or tomorrow.
Yes, sir. To agree. Not to say we kick the can down the street, but it was provided to the public, and we did try and follow all procedures. And I think it is very important that these people worked extra hard during COVID and are still working now and working overtime with minimum pay. So I move that we move forward. I recommend that.
Is you recognized?
Just point of clarification, what is the motion currently on the floor? Is it just
It's your committee recommendation?
the committee's recommendation? Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Ms. Newton, you recognize?
Thank you. I very much want to see the pay get raised, and I guess I'm wondering if there's an opportunity, perhaps as part of this motion, to move to approve this and then to direct our staff to share the requested salary information via whatever channels are appropriate so that we could handle those both at once. And if I'm seeing some heads nodding, so if that's acceptable, I would make a substitute motion that we approve this item and direct staff to share the salary increase information with the public at the first opportunity, what is today, Tuesday, which should occur this week.
I'll second
I'll
that.
second
Thank
it.
you.
That motion moving properly second. Any further discussion? If not, Ms. Only can call the roll for the substitute motion. That was made by Ms. Newton.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey, English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 10A is an executive session item, so that brings us to other items, which is item 11.
Reconsider that, sir.
Yes. Motion for
Second.
reconsideration, item 9A.
Second.
Properly second. Mrs. Only can call the roll for motion for reconsideration?
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio, Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
No.
Motion fails.
That brings us to item 11, and that is another item that's transfer from general fund to transportation pending funds. Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir. This is, Mr. Chair, this is the continuation of an item that the council previously approved to move forward with. This is required for us to move those funds, just as you read, Mr. Chair, from the general fund to the penny fund. So the staff is requesting approval so we can move forward with this item.
Great staff recommendations. Entertain a motion.
Approve.
Move for approval.
Second.
Properly second. Discussion. There being none, Ms. Only can call the roll for the motion for item 11A.
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
If there's no objections, well, we'll have to come back here anyway. I'm sorry. That brings us to executive session.
Mr. Chair,
Wh-
I apologize for interrupting you. How about, can I get a reconsideration on that item?
Move to reconsider.
Motion for reconsideration on item
11A, sir.
11A. Is there a second?
A second.
We're moving properly second. Ms. Owens, can you call the roll for the motion for reconsideration for item 11A?
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio,
No.
Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
No.
Motion fails.
Chair entertain a motion for executive session for the following items. That is 4A, road maintenance fee ordinance lawsuit, legal advice. 4B, Richland County versus Richland Program Development Team. And item 10A, county administrative evaluation review.
No move, sir.
It's removed. It's a second.
Second.
It's moving properly second for executive session for those items. Ms. Owen, can you call the roll for the motion to go into executive session?
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That brings us to item 10A. Ms. Newton, you recognize for the motion for item 10A.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to solicit a consultant to help us with the evaluation process as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Heard the motion, proper second discussion. If not, I'll ask Ms. Arnold to call the roll.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Sorry, didn't miss. No, I don't know what the motion was.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
You had something told me you staff might need. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. If in fact we do move forward with the PDT resolution, we would need approval for staff to be able to make any payment necessary to PDT from the transportation fund to be within guidelines of the agreement.
And a motion to that effect.
So move.
Second.
Proper second. Discussion. There being none, Mrs. Arnold, can you call the roll for the motion?
Malinowski,
No.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Teratio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
No.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, if it's proper, I would also move for reconsideration.
Second.
Second for reconsideration. Call the roll for the motion for reconsideration.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
No.
McBride,
No.
Livingston,
No.
Teratio,
No.
Barron,
No.
Overture Walker,
No.
Mackey,
No.
English,
No.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion fails.
Yeah, that brings us to that completes the executive session item. That brings us to item 13, motion period, 13A. Move to allocate $9,733 in H taxes to 5 Points Association for St. Patrick's Day event. These were funds allocated in the 2020-21 budget that were not spent due to COVID. That's from Mr. Ratio. That motion will go to the NF committee. Otherwise, it'll need unanimous consent to be voted on tonight. And then item 13B, to direct the county administrator to immediately move forward with efforts to relocate the Department of Social Services America.
We need to move.
Motions from working and remember that doesn't or any kind of conclusion. Any questions about the motion?
You need a second, Mr. Chair?
Motion for unanimous consent, was it second?
I'll second that.
It's moving proper second discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Malinowski, you recognize me?
The administrator was already looking into this matter.
Is that a question, Ms. Malinowski? If so, the answer is yes.
You are already looking into this, right?
Yes, sir.
The social services. So if you're already looking into it, I'd rather wait and see what you come back with before we just say do something. Thank you.
Mr. Chair? Yeah, the administrator is looking into it, but we just wanted to make it official for him. He still will not make a decision. He's just looking into it just to make it official for him to move forward.
Was moving forward, he just.
Well, not in the details, right, Mr. Brown?
You are more than welcome to make it officially official. I'm still going to be going, I'm still going to be looking, I'm still going to be going forward and trying to figure out how to get this done. I would certainly accept any additional support that council provides. Thank you.
As that you need to make it official.
Motion is
If the motion is to make it official and he's already doing it, I don't see what the I don't see what the harm is by going ahead and voting on it to move forward so that all grounds are covered. I don't see what the challenge would be.
And I think too that it will support what you're doing because you've got to work with state legislators and everything. So you would have council's approval to do it, whether you need it or not. That just clears all paths for you.
Yes, ma'am, I'm fine.
the only thing I'd want to add to the motion is I don't want to limit it to the Sears building. It's whatever option he finds. Maybe something pop up better than Sears. I don't know.
No, that would mess up the motion because actually why Mr. Brown started because it was a building in Columbia Mall. You don't want to limit to the Sears building in Columbia Mall, Mr. Livingston.
I mean, I don't want to take the Sears building out. I'm just simply saying I want the Sears building and anything. I want the Sears building and anything else he might find
In Columbia Mall. No, the issue was being in Columbia Mall because it was a prime location, and that was always the recommendation coming from council for Columbia Mall. That was always the recommendation for Columbia Mall based on the location.
So to be clear, and I'm going back to the document that I think Mr. Joe Walker presented to us, and I think that there is some, and I could be wrong, some limitations in moving forward with securing those types of funds as to having already having a building or something, or am I mixing things up? I think that's what makes us attractive for this funding.
I think in particular, the conversation that Mr. Walker had, and he's not here to speak, so I'm not gonna put extra words in his mouth, but we were talking about a place with the potential provider of additional funds. That place happens to be Columbia Place Mall. So that's my understanding of the conversation that was had. So I'm not to Ms. McBride's point, I'll just say I wasn't looking at other places. Mm-hmm. So if that's what's happening, then let me know, but I was assuming that we were looking at Columbia.
It has always been Columbia Mall. That's what this body has always voted on, Columbia Mall.
I'm getting lost.
Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Mankey, go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
All right, Ms. Mackey, you.
Thank you. Just to be clear, so the motion gives the county administrator to move forward and pursue funding. Is there a report back date to which we'll know his said findings with this motion, or? Will he report back at some point?
Yeah, and it's time sensitive for the funding.
I'm sorry, Mr. I guess for the making of the motion, I'm just trying to figure out at what point does he come back to it? Is it because I know it's time sensitive? Is it like 2 weeks, a month, or?
Yeah, when we reconvene in September, he could give us a briefing on what's going on.
Questions?
I think Ms. Mankey's question answers my question now, Mr. Chair. And I guess I'm just trying to sort out now, what is it that we are I guess what are we voting on specifically? I mean, if he already has the authority, does he already have the authority to do it, the county administrator, or is this just, you know, a motion that we're looking to pass to, go ahead, Madam Vice Chair. I mean, because what I heard earlier was that he already has the authority to do this, so I wonder if, is this a superfluous motion, or is this a motion that we're making to, I guess, memorialize publicly that we are behind the administrator with respect to this particular action? Like, what is it that we're trying to accomplish here if he already has the authority to do
I
this?
was fine with him having the authority. Someone just recommended that we make a motion, and that's what I did. But I am fine with the authority for him to move forward with Columbia Mall, because that has always been the issue, Columbia Mall. I don't want somebody to come and put something else in when it was always Columbia Mall.
I think the motion is important because there have been several conversations about how many times we've said 10 different things about the mall properties and so forth. So the motion makes sense to be very specific and say, for the administrator at least, to say, well, council did make this motion about this particular issue regarding the Department of Social Services. So there'll be no question about it anymore since we mentioned it, 15 times and never, committed to anything. So it's clarity for the administrator more than anything else. To answer your question, Ms. Walker.
Mr. Chair. And I don't know if we can do this or not, but you can tell me. For the maker of the motion, can I just amend it to add that he reports back at our next meeting with an update before moving forward? Okay.
Any further questions? Ms. Matlock, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Also, I don't want to see us tie ourselves down to where it says pursue funding from the state's American Rescue Plan allocation. Somebody may come up with something else from the state or somewhere else, or federal funding. You can keep that line, but I think we should also add, or any other source of funds.
I accept that amendment.
Okay?
Thank you, too. All right. Well, I got it. Ms. Sona, can you call the roll for the motion?
Yes, sir. Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride. Livingston,
Yes.
Horatio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Chair,
Recognize.
I just want to thank everybody, because I don't know where it's going, but you know how long we've been working on it. So I want to thank all of you for your support with this so far. Mr. Administrator, you too.
Mr. Chair,
You recognize.
I'd like to move to adjourn.
The motion to adjourn,
So moved.
and you're ready to go, aren't you?
Second.
Ms. Moon, proper second, Ms. Owen, can you call the roll for the motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
I know you're gonna miss us.
Only for a couple days. Then I'll see all of you again. Malinowski,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Horatio,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Overture Walker,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.